Ahoy there, and welcome back to DohMance Dawn, your prime podcast for One Piece and The Simpsons, specifically the animated versions of both. Though I did get around to watching season 2 of the live-action One Piece, and I had a lot of fun. I'm Luke, he, him, sometimes say them, and I'm joined by my lovely, wonderful, effervescent, bubbly co-host, Janine.
Hello, my name is Janine Juliet. My pronouns are she, they, and I don't have a third thing to say because, Luke, we have a guest today, don't we?
We do. We have a connoisseur of cola, specifically the Mountain Dew variety, as well as I'd say you are a friend, Joe Stando.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for having me on, Luke. Nice to meet you, Janine. Yeah, no, Luke and I have known each other through various internet rooms, I guess, for, like a decade now. So, yeah, very excited to be on the show.
I feel like it's got to be over a decade, because there was back in Michigan, the holiday party that you came out to that was weird for everyone.
That's true. No, yeah, I mean, again, like I've lived in New York for like a decade now, and that's, and it was before that. So I always just think of everything as being a decade ago. But yes, we've known each other, I'd say, at least since the year of Luigi, which was 2013, right?
Mm-hmm. The year of the first Luigi.
Yes, yeah, which is another weird way that I mark time and stuff. But yeah, so we go way back. And yeah, so thank you for having me on the show. And yeah, to explain my current kind of light project, it's reviewing Mountain Dews on my Instagram at Joe Stando. It's called the Mountain Dew Minute, although they usually last about 3 or so minutes. And I've done, this past week was the 19th review of it, of different flavors and stuff. And I will let you guys in on I don't want to say a secret, but like sort of something that's a little bit on the horizon, is we're actually reaching the point where I've reviewed most of the available flavors of Mountain Dew. Mm-hmm. So we may be seeing a little bit of a pivot in the future as I run out of easily accessible Mountain Dew flavors.
I feel like this was a point where you need to start going to like not just the like Asian grocery stores in New York City, but like the weird Polish ones where you can get Polish Mountain Dew flavor.
Yeah, exactly. Because one problem with Mountain Dew, I mean, I don't know if it's a problem, but like they actually are not huge in Japan. Like they're fine there, but they don't have, like, Pepsi has a lot more and Fanta have a lot more Japanese flavors. Where you find weird Mountain Dew flavors is usually in Europe and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I've been looking there. I've got about three flavors I haven't done, and then I'm thinking I might broaden it out and start doing Mountain Dew competitors. So if I can get a hold of, like, I don't like Mellow Yellow, for example, or the Olipop has one called Ridge Rush, which is a great, I think, sort of knockoff name, or Faygo, of course. Whoop whoop. Faygo's Moon Mist is one that I've got.
The Pride of Detroit.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to do a little bit more of that and stuff. But I'd say that the most frustrating thing is that there are flavors that they discontinued last year that I want to do, but you can't buy online because nobody has them. But I'm like, there's definitely still stock that exists, so I have to kind of just hunt for it. Like every time I pass by a bodega, I have to pop in and be like, do you guys have any like 10-month-old Mountain Dew bottles that I can just buy? And so far they haven't, but no, that's how I'm going to get a hold of Spark and Major Melon, which are two of my pirate treasures I want to get a hold of.
So you can understand what it's like to look for the One Piece and then end up uncovering a secret military base where they're experimenting on children.
Yes, absolutely. It's basically the same thing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, no, I definitely, I'm trying to think of what my One Piece, like my main treasure Mountain Dew to review would be that I probably won't be able to get a hold of. And the original Game Fuels are definitely up there, or like Pitch Black 2, maybe, some of these earlier ones and them building it out before they were doing new flavors for every grocery store chain and stuff.
Sorry, were you saying like Pitch Black 2 as in they made a sequel to Pitch Black, or?
Yeah, sorry. No, I should explain this. Yeah, so Pitch Black I've actually done on the show because that is still available in Malaysia and the Philippines. So I was able to get a hold of that. Pitch Black 2 was a sequel flavor they did that was also purple, also grape, but sour this time. And nobody liked it. And so they I think they brought it back one time maybe, but it's not highly beloved. But I would love to review it because I think I'm kind of too nice on the show. I feel like it's rare that I give something below 2 stars. I think I've done it one time. And so if there's one that's really bad, that would be awesome.
Have you done the hard Mountain Dew?
No, so that's another thing that I have to keep my eyes out for because you can't. I don't think they sell it in the state of New York.
Ooh.
So I've been looking around to see if I can get it shipped, but it doesn't seem like I can
because it's liquor across state lines.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll try to find if I can get a variety pack of them and review like all the flavors that they have available of hard Mountain Dew over the course of a couple nights. And then I'll have that as kind of a little mini series and stuff. Living in New York is kind of a problem for Mountain Dew reviewing too, because there's just flavors like Kickstart, I feel like is very common when you go to a gas station or something.
Yep.
But out here, it's like impossible to find. I've had to order it online from like Walmart's website. So that is also a little bit. So yeah, again, when I see Monkey D. Luffy and the crew scavenging out for stuff, I definitely know how that is. So
hell yeah. There have been a few times where we've picked up the variety pack of hard Mountain Dew because, that's sometimes you just want some malt liquor that tastes fruity with a flavor palette that you theoretically recognize. There's stuff that works there, stuff that doesn't, and stuff that's branded and stuff that is not.
Yeah, and it's like the thing about it too is that it's hard to. Mountain Dew is sort of like that one Supreme Court justice's definition of pornography, where it's like I can't always, or obscenity rather, where he's like I can't always put it into words, but I know it when I see it. It's like it's hard sometimes when you're explaining what makes a Mountain Dew, like Livewire, a Mountain Dew orange soda different from a regular orange soda, but it's like no, when you try it, you'll know. So yeah. I am excited because I've never had hard Mountain Dew. Although apparently it doesn't have caffeine in it, which is a little, like, it makes sense, but it's also a little, I feel like a little unfortunate because I feel like that's just what you would immediately think of with hard Mountain Dew is that they've just reinvented Four Loko.
Yeah, I feel like trying to avoid the Four Loko lawsuit is the way that they must.
Yeah, which is a good call, which is definitely a good call, but anyway, so that's a little about me.
Janine, what's your favorite flavor of Mountain Dew?
The Baja Blast Midnight.
Ooh, that is a good one. I just reviewed that a couple weeks ago.
I have a lot of fond memories of Code Red, like the summer that it launched.
Oh, yeah?
Because I was at Boy Scout camp and it was like, what are you doing there? You were using all your money at the commissary to buy caffeine. And that, but typically I'll go for a Baja Blast, and at Taco Bell I'll get half Baja Blast, half Gatorade.
Oh, nice. I usually will do, I'm like half Baja Blast, half whatever brisk iced tea. They usually have a mango iced tea. Okay, and then I'll maybe throw a splash of regular Mountain Dew in there. And I call it either the Punch Man's Fizz or the Fight Man's Punch. But either way, it's a drink that makes you want to fight somebody.
I once picking up Taco Bell at like 11:30 at night because choices had led me there, ordered in. The guy at the register is like, oh, you want some Haterade? And I was like, I guess that's what it's called.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Wow.
So what is your background with The Simpsons?
So for The Simpsons, I watched probably up until 2008 or 9, I would say. Maybe a little bit earlier than that. I definitely had seen all of the early seasons, the first 10 or so seasons. I remember I used to really like it when I was really little. I would watch it when it would air as like a small child, and I thought it was so funny. And my parents thought that was fine. And then all of a sudden it was like a switch flip and we were not allowed to watch it anymore. And I don't know why, but my guess is that at some point I or one of my younger brothers repeated something from the show at like coffee and donuts after church or something. And my parents were like, maybe we should should be a little bit careful about this. So then I went for a long period without watching The Simpsons in like middle school and stuff. And then once I got to high school, I was watching it again, and I kind of caught up and became like a fan of sort of the classic era, as it were. But yeah, I did see the movie. But I hadn't really watched the show on the regular in a long time.
It is an interesting show that goes through so many different eras. Abby and I were catching up today with like the 15 episode season that is apparently done for now, I think, because they're doing like shorter episode orders or whatever. And it's just like there is some stuff that does not feel like The Simpsons anymore. And I don't like to say that like the way where it's like, well, season 14 didn't feel like The Simpsons.
Sure.
No, this feels like a completely different show that if it was not The Simpsons, I might be more interested in. But it is like storytelling wise, format wise, it just feels so alien.
That's something I've kind of found, you know, when I'm on Instagram or something on my Discover page. If I get clips of recent Simpsons, it's almost always an episode or a sequence that is like Bart and Lisa as adults or Bart and Lisa as older teens or something. And even the last one we watched here, which we'll get to, had like a little bit of that. I mean, it was mostly kind of just a riff, but like it seems sometimes like they're very tired of sticking to the status quo that they've had for, you know, almost as long as I've been alive, which I would understand. But it is kind of like, yeah, this is stuff that I think I might like better if it was not The Simpsons. But if you're going to keep doing The Simpsons, you kind of can't have it both ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, I would say 5 out of the 15 episodes this season were good, and the rest were just kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. And but watching these was a time. What background do you have with One Piece?
So I was actually mentioning this to Janine before we started, but I read the first few arcs of the manga when it started, and I think I had watched the first couple some episodes of the dub right when it was premiering, but I never really got into it. But then there's a lot that I was sort of picking up by osmosis, and so it was kind of cool coming back to it now and being like, oh, what are things that I really remember? What are things that I like don't know about, but kind of have picked up contextually on what stuff that's just completely new. Like I've watched a little bit of the live action show, the first season of that, which I liked. I just didn't make time for it. But no, I will get to it. But I theoretically could be very into One Piece.
Season 2 of the live action is a big step up in a lot of ways.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like I feel like they've got the aesthetic pretty good. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's sort of splitting the difference when you see Japanese live action adaptations of anime shows and they look like, I don't even know if campy is the right word for it, but people are wearing like wigs that look like the anime hair, and it's like very literalist and like a little bit corny or kind of cheap looking, but clearly that's kind of the aesthetic that they want. And then you look at American anime adaptations like Dragon Ball Evolution or something, and it's like we can't have any of that. Everything has to be made kind of cool and Western and different, and it falls flat. So I think that the One Piece anime or the One Piece live action has done a good job of kind of meeting in the middle on that, where it's like, well, it still definitely does feel over the top and silly in the way that the One Piece should, but it also is adjusted to be like, okay, we want this stuff to kind of look cool. We want it to kind of look like it works. We want it to have its own kind of aesthetic and stuff. And I think they've done a good job with that. So that's cool.
Yeah. I feel like the Japanese stuff maybe comes from a place where like theater with the outlandishness and with more of a representational openness works a lot more, as opposed to American comic adaptations, which are typically either animated or it's superhero movies.
Yeah, exactly.
If only Dick Tracy had been the amazing blockbuster that established.
And then everything would, you'd have like a Little Orphan Annie show where her eyes are just huge white circles, but other than that, it's like completely regular and stuff. It's just like everybody's like, oh, it's got to be very literal.
Hell yeah. Speaking back to the year 2013, these episodes we're covering ran between January 6th through February 10th of the year 2013.
The January 6th one being like a crazy prepper one is like that's really good. I'm sorry. That's a great cosmic comedy bit.
Yeah, that first episode was Homer goes to prep school, where after Homer has a traumatic event at a kid's play place, he ends up in a preppers group led by Lloyd, voiced by Tom Waits, and he decides to keep it a secret. His fascination eventually leads to an EMP knocking a power across Springfield, and he evacuates the town with his family, but Marge calls him out for being selfish. He decides to steal these supplies from the other preppers and bring them back to town, only to find that power has been restored and society is working instead of falling apart. It's one of the better ones that we watched for this episode. It's also just kind of weird that Tom Waits does not sound like Tom Waits in a way that you would expect him to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one I thought it was fine. I liked Tom Waits in it. I've seen a little bit. I haven't seen a lot of. I think he's done some stuff with Jim Jarmusch as an actor, which I have not seen. But I did.
Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah, I think so. I have the only thing I've seen him in as an actor is he's in one of the Ballad of Buster Scruggs short films that the Coen brothers did, and he's like an old prospector in that. And he has either almost no dialogue or absolutely no dialogue, but he's fine in that. This one had a really good bit where Bart says "I caramba" and Tom Waits goes "I caramba indeed." And like I've got all of those things at this point where I'm like, okay, if I can find like one really good joke in these Simpsons episodes, I'm like, okay, well, that's worth it. So that made the episode worth it to me.
Fair. I liked the bit where Homer is trying to find Bart and Lisa, and they run through 3 different sets of Bart and Lisa's, and then the Bart and Lisa shaped play places.
Yeah. There were a lot of fun little bits in that. It was weird because there's a lot of stuff with the play place at the beginning. Like it's very dense with gags there, to the point that you almost are like, it feels like they maybe started writing an episode that was about a play place the whole time, the way some previous episodes used to be about like a camp or a theme park or something. And then they realized they didn't really have a plot, and we're like, okay, we're gonna make this the lead into the next one that we have that we're working on. Because yeah, it's the beginning definitely is jokes dense and very good.
Mm-hmm. Janine, anything to add on this one?
Not really. I think that having a new section of people, of these preppers, you do see some character dynamics that were fun, that like these characters probably have never spoken before.
Yeah.
Like Chalmers and Lindsay Nagel.
Yeah, that sort of reminds me of the bowling episode, the Pin Pals one, where they just are pairing off different characters in like these different bowling teams, which was yeah, it's a fun being like, well, I guess these guys know each other,
or at least they're close enough, and it's funny to put them together.
Yes, yeah. I think that that one has one that the team is the Homewreckers, and it's like every character that Homer or Marge has like, momentarily considered having an affair with, or has tried to seduce them or whatever, and it's like, well, there's no, like, they wouldn't. But
why would they do this? Yeah,
but it is a very, you can imagine them sitting around just being like, okay, we need to just keep matching up characters for a pop, not unlike a certain podcast that we're all familiar with, and yeah, so that was a very fun part of that, and I feel like this was maybe a similar, or like the like when they do the Republican Party secret meetings, and like Krusty's there and Dracula's there, and like it's the preppers felt kind of like a shadow version of that almost.
Yeah, like people who you wouldn't necessarily feel associating with other groups, but it kind of leads into how they've been building Chalmers up in recent seasons, and even are doing nowadays, where there was an episode in this recent season of 2026 where he like becomes a male influencer, and it's
what?
Yeah, people using snail goo on their faces, and it's weird. The second episode was a test before trying. Mr. Burns hikes up the electric rates, forcing these schools to have to take a standardized test to keep their funding, and since Springfield scores the worst, it is set to be closed, but then Lisa learns Bart didn't take the test, and if he passes, he could keep the school open by raising the average. Bart initially pretends to be unprepared, that way Skinner gets some more time, and after he has a nightmare about a world where he does fail, he asks Lisa for help learning how to take a test. He barely passes and saves the school, and then the B-plot is about Homer finding a parking meter and he keeps using it to cheat people, but then he gets paranoid about getting caught, gets caught, the parking meter breaks, and then Marge finds out and he ends up putting all the coins into a wishing well. The parking meter feels like the Homer getting a bunch of sugar plot, but not as good.
Yeah, I like the parking, like that's having a pirate parking meter is a great idea in another show, I feel like. You know what I mean? But at The Simpsons, yeah, I feel like that had been done before. Also, the main plot here to me with like, you know, it wasn't bad, but it felt very stale. You know what I mean? That I feel like we've done a lot of the school having problems. We've done a lot of, oh shoot, we have to make a dumb kid be smart kind of stuff.
It's kind of like Bart gets an F escalated up mixed with some other plots where he has to learn how to ask for help. And yeah, it's fine. It doesn't reinvent the wheel. It just kind of puts a bunch of wheels together and it kind of moves.
Yeah. I did like the finale, the climax of it where he gets the test right because a bug flies down and lands on the correct bubble. I had actually seen on Instagram and I was like, that's pretty cute. So when we got there, I was like, oh yeah, there it is. So that was cute. And there's a couple good Chalmers lines in here. I feel like there's a couple good Skinner lines, but overall, this isn't one I would point to being like,
Simpsons is back, baby.
This is actually, I would say, this is exactly the kind of episode I would expect from season 24 of The Simpsons. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, this is all fine, but none of it feels new or different or interesting.
Yeah. Anything to add before we move on?
I'm really trying to think of a joke from this one.
The Chalmers bit that I liked is when I forget what he's saying about. Oh, it's because they had to sell all of the instruments and he had to sell the mutes and he sold them to Nelson, yada yada. But he makes some line about how the kids like actually don't, that you know, comparatively they sound okay. And Chalmers just deadpans like, so do leaf blowers or something, and then keeps moving. And I really like that line because it's not really played for like a joke to the audience. It's like that's just a mean thing he said. and sometimes going kind of small with it. I like that clip with I don't even know which one it's from, but where Mr. Burns and Lisa are trying to do small talk and he's like, what do you think about popular music? And she's like, I think it distracts from the issues. And he's like, are you always on? And I'm like, it's just a good like conversational line. Like it's weird that it's these two characters in The Simpsons saying it, but it's a good line.
The third episode is the Changing of the Guardian, where Homer and Marge go storm chasing with Lenny and Carl to try and save Santa's little helper and end up getting stuck in a revolving door in a destroyed building. After they get free, they realize they need to pick a guardian and go through a variety of options as they keep getting rejected. They end up meeting Mav and Portia, a cool young couple who accept to be the guardians. And they get along great with the kids, so Homer and Marge are able to start getting time on their own, because I guess that was an added benefit that they really didn't set up, but then they start to get concerned that Mav and Portia are going to try and steal them, and when they confront the other couple, Mav and Portia thought that Homer and Marge didn't want their kids, and they're like, yeah, we're just going to step back, return to being cool adults, instead of, you know, kind of figuring out how miscommunication led to this extreme circumstance. Also, I remember this one getting promoted because I believe it was a Super Bowl episode, and they were like, hey, and guess who's coming back as Herb Powell for a voicemail line? That's right.
Literally one line. Oh, that it being a Super Bowl one makes sense because there's a lot of, in the front half of it, there's a lot of little gags in like the tornado sequence that are like throwbacks to other stuff, or like, you know, there's a bit in the tornado sequence where you see like a 3x3 block of the Blinky the three-eyed fish, and I was kind of thinking like, this feels like they're like Spider Pig pops up in one of them, and I was like, this feels like a lot of like, this is weird that they're doing so. That, thank you, that makes that make a lot more sense.
Yeah, we ended up watching the 800th numbered episode, which is not the 800th episode of The Simpsons because they have a bunch of them online, and it's not the 800th produced one, but it's the 800th promoted one. And it's like, it is kind of a lot because it starts with a flashback of Simpsons roasting over an open fire, and then it turns into a tourism episode that also turns into National Treasure, but they didn't get a good person to do a Nicolas Cage impression, and it's just kind of like trying to do too many things.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of weird stuff going on. This one is just weird to me. Like, the tornado plot was fine. Like, that part's fine. The concept of we have to pick new guardians, I guess that is a real thing to think about, but nobody does it like that. You know what I mean? Like, this feels like an alien's idea, or not alien. Let me put it this way. This feels like a single person who has never really seriously considered having kids at all, or like doesn't even really hang out with parents or anything. This feels like their idea of what that experience is like. And the bit where they're going around to different people, I guess, is fine. But then, yeah, this whole thing where they meet a cool new couple, they foist the kids off on them, they feel worried about foisting the kids off them, despite the fact that, again, like nothing with this other couple, like what this episode I feel like really needs is like a reveal that the new couple is like secretly evil, or just secretly somehow weirdly unpleasant, or like they don't want, like, oh, they're, I don't know what. But like without that, it just, it kind of just ends. Like they're like, oh, well, see ya. And there's no discussion, no lessons are learned, which is, theoretically fine. But yeah, this one was very weird. The Herb Powell line is pretty good, though, I will say. Yeah. It's not worth probably selling an episode on, but it's a great line and a great little gag. But yeah, like the concept of people in town like running away from them because they think that they're going to foist their kids on them is like, again, it's like, I guess that does, like, as I say it, unfortunately, it's one of those things where you're like, when you put it like that, it actually sounds kind of funny. This doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It's like, odds are this will never matter. So it's kind of weird that everybody was taking it so serious. But anyway, yeah, this one was strange.
I'm trying to see. The writer for this one does have 4 kids.
Oh, okay. It was just, I mean, it's one of those things where you just, a lot of things in The Simpsons and in any show are like very simplified and caricatured down, but this is like too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it was okay.
It goes a bit too broad for comedy, and it kind of lacks a personal angle where it's like, I think there could be humor done in the what is going to happen to our kids in case we die, kind of how do we respond to death, and how do our kids kind of respond to that.
And it also, now that I'm thinking about it, it reminds me a little bit of the one where the kids get taken away by Child Protective Services and given to the Flanders, and then the Flanders are going to baptize them. And I'm assuming that's kind of why the Flanders aren't in this one, is because they literally did that already. But like that, again, that had an angle, that had specificity, that also had like a real conflict that it's like, well, would the kids be better with the Flanderses? It's like they clearly are more mature, responsible, but there's also not a good fit, and Homer and Marge do love them, and this just felt kind of like perfunctory.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Janine, anything to add?
Absolutely nothing. I mean, you guys have already said a good amount about it and have covered a lot of the finer points in broader detail than I can be able to add on to it. But also, I just hate the episode.
It's not very good. Like, it really isn't.
I would say with Ned at this point, he is married to Edna Krabappel.
Oh, that's true.
If there would be one person who would not want to adopt Bart Simpson, it would.
But even that feels like, I mean, I almost feel like it would be better
as a gag
if you cut out the whole last thing with the new couple, and the whole thing is just them going around and getting turned down by people, and then at the end they kind of realize that they're overthinking all this and it's actually fine. You know what I mean? But
this is weirdly the second episode that kind of just makes me think about an American Dad episode, because the Homer B plot about the parking meter in the last one made me think about the one where Stan becomes a parking meter attendant. power goes to his head. And then this one makes me think about the time where Stan and Francine end up meeting a young couple, and they get too tired and they don't want to seem old, and so they just try and get them to have kids on accident.
That is, I feel like, a better exploration of similar ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, American Dad, or sorry, Simpsons, you got daddy.
And that's so damning. You know what I feel like? That's so funny to be like, oh yeah, the Family Guy, like, not exactly spin-off, but like his second crack at this is kind of telling these stories better and tighter than The Simpsons are.
American Dad is underrated.
And I do agree with that. I feel like American Dad, and again, I haven't watched any of these like regularly in a while, but American Dad is one where when I flip it on, I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah. They at least understand how to tell a story, and while there are more episodes of American Dad that I never want to watch again just because they go into such weird material, there's also stuff where it's like, yeah, I've heard people talk more about like season 13 or 15 episodes of American Dad than I ever hear about people talking about Simpsons episodes from this point. So
yeah, and American Dad, just they're a little bit better at writing tight, I feel like, because they don't really do cutaway gags. They don't do a lot of the sort of it's funny because we're wasting your time things that he'll do in Family Guy, or that you sometimes see in Rick and Morty. And if they do kind of a cutaway thing, they had that whole, this is a long time ago now, but they had that thing where Roger had like a golden poop, and then every time it did the golden poop, the aspect ratio of the show would change, and it was like a weird sort of thriller thing where somebody would come across it and then they'd like murder the person they were with because they're like, it's all mine and stuff. And I was like, that's like an interesting thing to do.
And they did finally pay that off. Yeah. They did a full episode where it's like, okay, yeah, no, here's us getting to the end of this. And I think they brought it back since it's just now returned to Fox, but I haven't gotten around because I am mid rewatch.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that again to me was something where I'm like, okay, this is interesting. You don't see this on Family Guy, you don't see this on The Simpsons and stuff. So yeah, no, I would say overall pro American Dad.
The last episode is Love is a Mini Splintered Thing. Bart runs into Mary Spuckler again, but he doesn't want to give her proper attention. And Lisa warns Homer and Bart that they are mistreating the women in their lives. When Mary loses a song contest and wants support from Bart, he doesn't give it to her, and she goes off with a record producer and his son. Bart tries to get her back, but she ends up breaking up with him, and he realizes he messed up. Marge ends up tossing Homer and Bart out for not listening, so they go off to live with a bunch of other men in the same position. After failing to cheer themselves up, all the men decide to do a bunch of grand gestures for their wives and partners, which convinces Marge, but Mary turns down Bart. And then in the future, I guess Mary's husband dies, so Bart tries to go back with her, and it's awful because he's doing a whole Woody Allen bit, and we knew that Woody Allen was not a person we wanted to associate with back in 2013.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, no, this is late for that.
I watched these episodes with my wife, and Abby was very angry about this episode.
It's not very good. The Woody Allen angle is weird, and yeah, it's like even for then, this was not something we were kind of over. You know, his it had become untenable, Woody Allen defense. And it's also weird that they do that, and then they also do a gag about him meeting Woody Allen, I think because, I don't know who's doing the Woody Allen voice, but they just like to do Woody Allen voice. Because I there's every time you watch, you know, a run of The Simpsons, you're always like, oh, I forgot they did a Woody Allen gag in this, and it's like, he just likes to do it. But yeah, that was weird. As somebody who's coming into this without watching a lot of The Simpsons since the first dozen or so seasons, Mary Spuckler was kind of confusing because yeah, she's Bart's ex-girlfriend, who is Zooey Deschanel, who is Cletus's kid, and who is apparently more than just a one-off character. Like, I know you were saying she's appeared a couple times before this, but like it's odd to have a recurring character. I don't know. It was just, that was odd. The whole thing with Bart and Homer's arguments and stuff felt very contrived, very handing them the idiot ball this week. So yeah, I didn't really like this one very much. The one thing that I thought was really good in it was when they needed to throw the party at the kicked out husband's apartment complex, and the only music they had was the Robert Caro audiobook. So they put that on, and it just plays that audio, and the visuals are a party montage. So yeah, that was my one thing that I found in this that I liked. But Bart telling the story now as a Woody Allen type is, again, one of those things where I'm kind of like, I don't. Once in a blue moon, I think a flash forward Simpsons is okay. But again, when you've been doing it for 30 years, doing it once in a blue moon means that there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, I don't know. I was not a huge fan of this one, I will say. It's probably my least favorite of them.
Yeah, definitely least favorite of them. It sucks, and I don't want to talk more about this. We've got other stuff that we're probably going to be mixed on to talk about on One Piece. So Janine,
Sure.
Anything to add before we get into new characters unlocked?
Not really. Let's move past this one before it follows us home.
It's just a weird one.
New characters unlocked include the Ice Bishop of Beverly Hills, Tom Skerritt, Garbage Eating Husband, Cotton Candy Killer, Devon Peacock, Max Weinberg, Severus Snape, and many more. All right. So now we're going to cover episodes 579 through 584 of One Piece. These include Landing the Burning Island Punk Hazard,
A Scorching Battle, Luffy versus the Giant Dragon.
I have it pulled up, so this is different from what you had read earlier, but it is the Straw Hat Sun. Stunned. Enter a samurai's horrifying severed head.
Oh, you're reading it on the website?
Yes, yeah, it's a different transliteration, sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just copy off of what I took from the wiki.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think you're reading the full transliteration. We typically do the Funimation dub.
Sure. I really wanted to say a samurai's horrifying severed head. I only get to say that about once a week, so, it's nice to do it.
I mean, Janine, do you want to say a samurai's horrified severed head?
No, I think I'm good, but you guys have at it.
Surprise! The secret of the island is finally revealed.
Save the children! Start of a gang fight!
A swordplay showdown. Brook versus the mysterious Torso Samurai.
So the Straw Hats sail towards a mysterious burning island that isn't picking up on the log post. They get a signal on a transponder signal from someone being attacked by a samurai in a cold place on the island, Punk Hazard, before he is killed. And we get some backstory about how all the samurai are warriors from Wano, which is closed off from the rest of the world. Janine, you know what it is?
Is it One Piece Japan?
It's a Wano watch.
Oh my god. How long are we going to be waiting on this one?
We are at episode 584, Wano One Piece anime. We will get there in about 300 episodes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, One Piece is great.
I mean, I kind of like I guess it builds a lot of anticipation.
Yeah, and then we'll be there for about 200 episodes.
God.
One Piece. Yeah. So, meanwhile, Smoker and Toshigi intercept this call, and Smoker wants to catch the Straw Hats and plans to follow them to the island, which has been shut down for the past 4 years. I do want to say, having gotten to season 2 of One Piece live action, I appreciate how much more character they give to Toshigi.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She just has some hard lack of characterization.
Yeah, she feels like his Smithers, kind of. Like, there's not... I mean, it's cool that she can do sword stuff.
Mm-hmm. Her whole thing is she looks like Zoro's best friend who died as a child, and she wants Zoro's sword.
Okay.
And because Zoro is Zoro, she can never actually win against him.
Sure. And this is the sword that the ghost guy gave him?
No, different sword. But she'd probably also want that ghost guy sword.
That was a cool sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he fought the corpse of a samurai who was actually from Oda's first published manga work that has now been made canonical in One Piece.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
That is cool.
So the Straw Hats draw straws to figure out who's going to go to the island, with Usopp, Robin, and Zoro going to the island with Luffy on a Milky Road dial over the Wall of Flames, where they find the facilities in flaming ruins, while the rest of the ship just enjoys dessert, and Nami notices the weather on the opposite side of the island is very different. This is also, unfortunately, the point where we just get even more horny designs for all the female characters.
I didn't know. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't remember it being quite like this, and I know that I've seen the images of how it gets like kind of weirder and worse as it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
It's yeah.
Oda post time skip really is just like, yeah, we're going to put Nami in a bikini because he's a tits man and he does not discover asses until 2 years ago, and then he's like, you know what, butts are good too.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he made that jump.
Yeah, he got the secret ass man's menu from roast beef.
I was gonna say, yeah, he gets the call from the fireman. But yeah, no, this you know what I liked in this one? I liked their, obviously we're coming into this after, I guess, a movie, and also after much time with these characters being together, is I liked it a couple times when Nami uses the rod thing to make the bridge thing to get there. Or when actually that comes later, but when Usopp makes a boat later, I like that characters go, hey, that's a cool thing that you didn't used to be able to do. Like, I think it's cool that you've like leveled up enough, or that you've practiced enough, or that you've built your skills enough that you can do that thing now. They do that a couple times in the episodes that we watched, and I just really liked that. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's a nice thing to do if you're gonna have a show that is going to be very long and also very, very decompressed. It's nice to stop and check in sometimes and go, hey, we've gotten a lot stronger, and we've worked hard, and that's cool.
Yeah, they got done with spending 2 years apart from everyone training, and then the last arc was sort of a weird rehash of, okay, we're going to introduce some of the new stuff that you can do, but there's still new surprises. We'd actually seen the banana in the movie that we covered on our last episode, which is non-canonical, but the banana is canonical.
Okay, sure. It's one of those, some things like this might have happened maybe, but some things definitely didn't.
Yeah, it's because of how power scaling works, it doesn't make sense. We need to have a villain we can defeat for the movie.
Sure, okay.
So a large dragon approaches Luffy's team that seems to be asking them if they are allies of the Seven Warlords. Well, back on the Sunny, the crew get knocked out and taken by people who look like they are the hazmat guys from Monsters, Inc.
Oh yeah, they do. I was thinking they were kind of like, if those artists who like redesign Pokemon to be like realistic and scary. It's like their take on the Minions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, these are the Minions if Gru was like really an evil criminal and stuff.
So Luffy jumps onto the dragon, finds a pair of talking legs that are talking through farts stuck to the back of it, and realizes that it's the voice that they've been hearing, not the dragon. Luffy tricks the dragon into eating its own wing. It begins to fall. Zoro beheads it, and Luffy is able to take the legs off of the dragon and find that they are seemingly disconnected from everything else. The legs run off to challenge a warlord, and Luffy wants to recruit the legs and ends up getting them stuck onto his back. And as they continue exploring, they find glaciers on the other side of the lake as opposed to the burning inferno on the side that they're on, and Usopp complains that he saw a mysterious bird woman who scares him. This arc is great for just a lot of what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah, no, the legs was fascinating because I was like, oh, the dragon can talk. I'm like, the dragon can talk, but the things that the dragon is saying are not exactly relevant to like the things it's doing. So I'm like, so there's clearly something else going on here. And also I watched the dub, right? Which I like. I think the dub is pretty good.
I'm a dub watcher.
Yeah, but they don't make it explicitly. That's sort of what I figured, is that I was like, is it like it's like farting or something? Because it's not really making farting sounds, but it says hoot before it talks. And every time and I was like, oh, that's kind of like, that's weirdly like almost like a sort of chaste way to do this joke. You know what I mean? It's like, it's nice because it's like, I'm like, I guess this is fine. You can kind of ignore it.
So, meanwhile, the mysterious master of the island hears about the intruders, and he is excited to have new guinea pigs as he sees the other Straw Hats, except for Brooke, who was left on the ship, and they are brought into the lab. That is where Nami, Sanji, Frankie, and Chopper wake up in the cell with a mysterious talking head who was chopped into pieces, and after they reassemble it and learn that he was chopped up by someone with mysterious powers. I enjoy our weird, mysterious, chopped up head man.
I really like when they're first putting it back together and they get him mostly right, but they get his beard and his hair flipped around, and that becomes a plot point because they don't immediately recognize him as being a samurai. And then Sanji's like, wait a minute, and he like Rubik's cubes his head, and he's like, oh, this top knot, oh, this guy was a samurai all along. I'm like, that's a fun way to do that reveal,
It is. Luffy, meanwhile, runs into a centaur who has a leopard bottom, and they strike up a friendship while they're being observed by that mysterious winged woman. The mysterious head is judgmental, sexist, and horny. And Nami is basically able to talk to him for confirmation that they are on the frozen half of the island. That is when Frankie, with a full charge of cola, is able to break down the door. And Sanji then figures out the mysterious head is a samurai, and the mysterious head admits that he is on the island to save his son. Sanji decides to take him with him, and they end up running into the Biscuits room, which is filled with massive children.
And that to me felt very much like, I don't know if it was a direct reference to Spirited Away, but it felt like Spirited Away, right? Where they go she runs into the nursery and there's a giant baby there, and I was like, oh, wow.
I'm not necessarily sure if that was a direct inspiration, but it could be.
Or there's a third thing that they both, either was that a coincidence, or the thing that I always like where you see two weird gags in like really disparate media and you're like, there's a third thing in the past that these are both referencing. You know what I mean? Also the kids, like the blonde little boy looks kind of regular, and then the girl has like her face is kind of too detailed, and it's like, oh, I get what we're doing here, but this is like, it just looks weird.
Yeah, there's some that are much more on model, and some that's like the animators needed some work.
Yeah, so some that are just a little sketch drawn in there, like a doodle.
So back on the ship, Brooke took out the people who were checking out the ship and checks in with Luffy's team. He reports that they are now on the frozen side of the island, and the centaur, learning that Luffy is an enemy, tries to take him down along with his leader. They easily get defeated, and they find that the transponder snails that they have a mysterious CC symbol on them. The master, meanwhile, hears about the G5 ship with Smoker coming closer, and Smoker mentions this island is where Aokiji and Akinu had a big duel on their fight after they had cleared out the chemicals. So now someone else has come back to the island for unknown things. And we ended up hearing about the fight in One Piece Film Z that we covered last time, but the Straw Hats don't know about that in this timeline.
Okay.
So the boys in the biscuit room are amazed by Frankie since he is a robot, and the girls all love Chopper because I think he's a stuffed animal, and some other kids insult Sanji. But then the talking head starts screaming. We find him asking about Momonosuke, which scares all the kids, and that is when the guards show up. Meanwhile, across the lake, Usopp makes a floating banana and fan grass oars to get them across before the Cheetah Centaur calls in for his boss to handle the Straw Hats. Back in the Biscuits room, the kids ask for help, claiming that they are no longer sick and they want to go home, and the guards try and warn them that these pirates are dangerous and start pumping in chemicals that are going to knock out the kids. The kids keep calling for help, and you enter into the weird, the timing for this is different in manga than it is on the anime, so it's like the dimensions of this room are infinite. Not infinite.
There was a lot of bits where I'm like, well, aren't they outside of the room by now? But like, really what it is it's like this whole thing is taking place over the course of like 90 seconds. You know what I mean? that was a little like, it's a strong moment for Nami, but it's very funny the way that and Sanji gets to like do the badass kick thing and stuff, and like all of the pieces of it are cool, but it's like so decompressed over the course of probably like 8 minutes. minutes total that you're like, well, why are we still like, what's happening?
Yeah, because the kids call for help. Nami eventually changes her mind and wants to save them. So Sanji uses a burning kick to burn through the gas, and they attack the guards. Brook, meanwhile, starts making snowmen, and then the torso of the samurai shows up and attacks him. The G5 team continues approaching to the island when they find a fake wall in the ice and blast through it, and the soldiers try to gaslight Tashigi into believing nothing bad is going on, despite every sign that bad stuff is going on. We find out that the leader on the frozen side of the island is Brownbeard. Janine, Brownbeard is back.
Holy shit.
I know.
This is okay, so this is an existing guy.
Uh-huh. His real name is Browndos Beardriguez.
Okay. And I'm assuming he didn't used to be
A centaur.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the last we saw, he picked a wrong fight with another person who is at Luffy's level.
Okay.
He has the men fire at Luffy and co. Meanwhile, the samurai torso is able to sense and attack Brook, and the samurai head is able to sense what his body is doing. And as G5 lands on the island that used to belong to Dr. Vegapunk, Trafalgar Law appears on behalf of the Master, and we find out he is now one of the warlords of the sea after he delivered the hearts of 100 pirates to the Navy headquarters. Bum, bum, bum. We got mysteries.
Trafalgar Law is a guy who I don't think I ever saw any I don't think I've seen him before, but I'm definitely aware of him through like just seeing posts about One Piece and stuff. So I was excited to see him. He's pretty cool. Do people like him? He seems like a guy that people would think is kind of a badass.
Yeah, he is both voiced by Matthew Mercer.
Lucky him.
He is also, we'll eventually get to it, but one of the canonically, or at least as close to canon as you can be, queer male characters in the series.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. We won't get to that for like 100 episodes.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, that was cool. So Dr. Vegapunk is presumably a bad guy scientist, right?
He works with the Marines. He has made androids. He converted another one of the warlords into a soulless android killing machine.
Okay, cool.
Frankie ended up on his lab for a couple years during the training, and so he has used a bunch of like older Vegapunk technology to upgrade things. And then we finally got to meet Dr. Vegapunk about 2 years ago in the manga.
And is he's an unseen character?
Yes, they wait to reveal him.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like, oh, he was a badass from before and we're kind of in the ruins of him, or no, he's a guy who we haven't seen him. Okay, cool. And Frankie, he drinks cola and that powers him up.
Yeah, he runs on cola.
Okay, that is awesome.
Mm-hmm. He is great. He's a freak positive, and that is how he likes to describe himself. All right, we got 13 characters to match, so let us get into it. How about y'all?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so up first, we got Dragon, and this is not the dragon from Shrek. So for the dragon, I have, as my Rodrigo pick, Ape Hydra Ned. We get a brief horror fantasy image of Ned Flanders as an ape with 3 heads. My throwback pick was Dragon Kearney, and then I had Monty Mort the Dragon. Janine, who do you have?
Well, I also had Ape Hydra Flanders, but I had a second pick, but I did not check to see if we use this one. Osaka Flew Godzilla.
We have not used Osaka Flew Godzilla or normal Godzilla.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I think I'll throw down for like Osaka Flew Godzilla specifically from In Marge We Trust. That's the
Joe, how about you? Who do you have?
I if we're going from stuff from these episodes, I feel like the only really outre creature type one was the Ned Hydra. That's a great pick. I don't know if this is breaking rules, but the thing that the dragon sort of reminded me of is and because this is not a Simpsons guy, it's a Futurama guy, but that gargoyle in the Futurama.
Pazuzu.
Yeah, it reminded me a bit of Pazuzu. What specifically the moment when they think it's talking and it has like a regular voice. You know what I mean? Like Pazuzu has a little bit of a creepy voice, but it's a French accent. It's not like a monster voice, really.
Yeah, it's like wrong we.
Yeah, and so that definitely reminded me of that. So if Pazuzu can count under extraneous rules, that would be my pick. But yeah, I like the Ned Hydra as well.
Unfortunately, we have a small pool of Futurama characters we can use at this point. We have not gotten to the Futurama Simpsons crossover
I see.
episode, but I don't believe Pazuzu appears in that, but I could be wrong.
He like, the thing with him that's so funny to me is like, he kind of just pops in and out really weirdly. And I'm like, I feel like maybe I've missed an episode about it, but.
No, he just appears in the de-aging one. And then I think they have to recall that one because that was like one of the last episodes of Futurama.
Oh, gotcha.
We all have Ape Hydra Flanders. I think we might forget about Ape Hydra Flanders, and I feel like that is an abomination that I'm fine burning.
I do like when he's smacking his head in the door, and Flanders is like, that's my real head.
Janine, can you roll with that?
Sure.
All right. Up next, we have the mysterious samurai, but I'm just going to call him by his real name, Kinemon. He is De Winoman. Janine, who do you have for our mysterious samurai?
My Rodrigo pick was Max Weinberg.
Mm-hmm.
And my throwback was the model UN Nelson months.
Mm-hmm.
He represented Japan.
Yes.
Oh,
and he beats up Wendell as Mexico. Janine.
Yes.
I am going to push. We'll get to Joe's suggestion, mine, and the listener's suggestion. I am going to push for someone bigger because Kinemon is going to be with us for a while.
You don't like Max Weinberg?
Listen, I know a different Max Weinberg.
We all love Max Weinberg
Mm-hmm.
of the E Street Band, but
Na 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 na. Joe, who do you have?
So for my pick for this, I had to go with it's not from this episode, but I had to go with Legs, the associate of Fat Tony and the other Louis, the other mafia guy. Just because
We have used Legs, unfortunately.
That makes sense. But yeah, Legs, if he's a bigger character, Legs also doesn't feel like a big enough character. But yeah, that was unfortunate. That was who I had. So let me start noodling a little more.
My Rodrigo pick was Lloyd, because he does have a weird survivalist bent, a weird grungy edge to him. My throwback was Tom Hanks from the Simpsons movie. Everyone's favorite dad, who we could buy him being a bit horny, we could buy him being a noble warrior, we could buy his bottom of the head being mixed up with the top of his head. And then I also had Reverend Timothy Lovejoy, a person who is devoted to a set of rules that he doesn't always follow, and who I don't know where else like Lovejoy is going to be used.
There's not like a missionary faction in One Piece, really.
We do have a series of a guy named Kuma and a bunch of robot clones of him, but because his name means bear and a recurring bit, all of those are being played by bears.
Gotcha.
He is like the one guy in One Piece that is carrying a Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lovejoy's a good pick, to be honest.
We are getting in a call. Reverse eye patch with a bonus endorsement from Mike P suggested Troy McClure, because he is going to be essentially a big guest star who was around for a while and may eventually do something weird with fish. And then that one welder guy also said Japan Nelson, or Model UN Nelson.
Ooh.
I could go with reverse eye patch and Troy McClure. I had seen them post. I didn't necessarily want to steal their bit.
Yeah, no, I just like because Kinemon's he's kind of over the top. You know what I mean? Like how he talks and like that feels like a good fit to me.
Janine, are you good with that?
Sure, I could go with Troy McClure.
Hi, I'm Kinemon. You may recognize me from my torso fighting you out in the snow, or my legs getting attached to your ass. We then have the mysterious bird woman, who we will find out her name is Monet. Joe, who do you have for Monet?
Oh, let me see. I don't feel like I have any good picks for her. just because
we didn't get a lot of her.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of, that was another thing, and
we can table characters without shame.
Okay, I heard them saying this in the previous episode, and you've alluded to a lot, but One Piece is just there's so much of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm watching these, and I'm kind of like, okay, it feels like we're getting somewhere. And then I look up the episode list, and I'm like, oh, there's another, 20 episodes of fighting and doing stuff on Punk Hazard. And I was like, okay, so this is not, I kind of thought this was like a little one, and comparatively it is, but my concept of a little one was like way off. But yeah, I didn't really have enough for her, I feel like.
Okay. I had 3 of them, but we may end up tabling her unless I can really convince. But I may need to wait. My Rodrigo was Bootsy, one of the ice punk people. My throwback was Simone de Beauvoir. And then I had Lois Penny Candy, Krusty's long, heartbroken assistant.
Oh.
Who stops appearing, who ties into my pick for the Master. Janine, who do you have?
I have this is just one that I just went pretty slim on because there was really nothing much to go off of, and I just had a Rodrigo pick of Angel Skinner.
I am good tabling her for now because we do need to find out more if that works for everyone.
Sure.
All right, we then have the Master, who we also have not learned more about, but we'll be learning more about him. Janine or Joe, did either of y'all have a strong pick that you wanted to go with at this point?
So it's not 1-to-1 really, but if I was picking from these episodes, he kind of did remind me a little bit of Tom Waits' character Lloyd, insofar as you kind of have to go to another room to see him. You know what I mean? Like, he was kind of a boss in the back room and stuff. I was also, the other character I would pick, if we can do specific versions of characters,
we can,
as other people. My other pick would be the file photo of Homer Simpson with all of the cigarettes in his mouth, only because the Master appears to be made out of smoke. And I just wanted to mention the file photo of Homer Simpson with all the cigarettes in his mouth. But yeah, I would, it's Lloyd, or I don't really, this guy also, I guess it's kind of a spoiler. He has a physical body he can turn into, right?
Yeah. Right now, we're seeing him in his devil fruit power.
In his devil fruit form. Okay. That was all right. I kind of gleaned that from when I was looking at the arcs on the wiki. And that's cool. I honestly, I might just keep watching and see. I got to see what this guy looks like.
All right, Janine, who did you have?
The only thing that felt vaguely like a master or some person that would call themselves a master, I thought personally, who matched the energy of it, was the Ice Bishop of Beverly Hills,
which was the Rodrigo pick that I have.
Oh, that's good.
My throwback was Andy Warhol, but Janine, you know how I mentioned that I had a big name character who I was waiting to use?
Sure, yeah.
This is my pick for full-on Krusty the Clown.
Oh.
I think I'll need to see more of this Master before I'm ready to cast that.
That is perfectly fine. All right. Then getting into characters who will probably be much easier, or at least we don't care about. We had Hyotoros, the Jaguar, Cheetah, Minotaur Man. He's kind of dumb. My Rodrigo pick was Sludge, one of the post-apocalyptic movie guys. Katinge, because he points out where a cheetah is on the tour. And then Rasputin, the friendly Russian. He used to be the evil Russian, but he's had a face turn. Janine, who do you have?
Barry, the satellite TV guy.
Ooh.
The Larry the Cable Guy, ish kind of character.
And Jill, who did you have?
That's a good one. I immediately was like, this guy is Knifey Spoony to me, the Crocodile Dundee guy. He probably used him before, but that was who I was thinking of. But I like him as the I like him as Barry the Satellite TV guy.
Yeah, we unfortunately used Knifey Spoony a while ago, but I also like Barry the Satellite TV guy. I'm going to go and use Barry.
Yeah.
We then have Kieran Toros, who is a giraffe centaur, and he's fucked up, but not the most fucked up guy that we're going to see, because we're just going to start seeing a bunch more weird-looking dudes coming up. So get excited. Janine, who did you have for Kieran Toros?
I had the garbage-eating husband. This guy kind of looks like he eats garbage. I'm sorry to say.
Joe, how about you?
I'm sure you've already used Herman.
We literally used him in the movie, finally.
Okay. He had a Herman vibe to me that, like, the other guy seems fun. This guy does not seem fun. You know what I mean? Like, the cheetah guy seemed like, okay, he's getting along with Luffy. He's great. This guy seemed dangerous and unpleasant. So, yeah, I was feeling Herman on him. I also was thinking the other one that has not appeared in this is he reminded me a little bit of Furious D. The second horse, I believe, that the Simpson family has had to watch and take care of after the Lisa pony. They get Furious D, and it's that one with the creepy jockey musical number.
We have also used Furious D.
That's good, but the thing about that's another thing, going back real quick about the Love is a Many Splintered thing, is that the musical number they have at the end is like fair at best. For many years, it was like whenever they did a musical number, it was really, it was that Conan O'Brien thing. It really knocked it out of the park. So yeah, really didn't like that episode. But anyway, yeah. So I'm 0 for 2 on this guy, but if I was over a little bit earlier, he could have been can't even remember his name, Herman.
Well, yeah. We also used Furious D back in episode 17 of the show.
Gotcha. That's a good call. I'm glad he's in the mix.
He plays a duck with a cowboy hat.
Ooh.
So my Rodrigo pick is Mumbles, one of the Ice Bishop's men. My throwback was the golden giraffe that was in that box of animal crackers that sends the Simpsons on their trip to Africa. And then I had the Giraffopus.
Oh, the Giraffopus is pretty good, I feel like, since it's the same kind of freak.
Yeah. Janine, can I convince you on a Giraffopus?
Only in casting and nothing else.
Any body part.
I like that the Giraffopus, like that's where Kieran Toros's like giraffe head ended up. You know what I mean? Because it's like a giraffe head and then his nasty like tentacles. But yeah, good pick.
All right. We then have the first of these many children who are kind of interchangeable at this point. So let's burn through these. I only have 2 picks for most of these kids. Up first is Doran. I had playset Bart, the playset that looks like Bart, and then Great Son, who is one of those early recurring characters because he kind of has the hair thing. Janine, who do you have?
I have Killer Monkey Baby. I got really high for these next picks for like all the kids, by the way. So it kind of, there's a few that go off the rails, and you'll see.
I am always fascinated to see what high Janine brings me. Joe, who did you have?
I had the glasses fake Bart. But yeah, I mean, it's the nice thing about these episodes is it lined up in a way that it gave us a lot of interchangeable kids on both sides.
Yeah. I mean, we could just be very lazy and say, oh yeah, no, it's just assorted Mormon kids from Mormon kids.
Every kid is also a kid.
I'd push for Great Son out of these.
Yeah, because I think that's a little more interesting of a kid. So,
all right. Our second kid is Sind, who kind of has shaggy hair. Janine, who do you have for Sind?
I have Off-Brand Bart 1, the first one that we see.
That's the one where he kind of looks like Gene Belcher.
A little bit, yeah.
Yep. Joe, who did you have?
That is also who I had. The one, that first wave of them where they look a little more like Klasky Supo designs a little bit. That was me, because I was kind of like, well, I should save kind of the main looking kids for the main 2 kids here.
Yeah, that was what I also had as my Rodrigo pick, and then I had Blow the Horn Kid. But let's just go with Fake Bart 1. We then have Mocha. She gets lines. She has determination and grit. Her face has details.
Her face is way too detailed.
Joe, who do you have?
For her, obviously, if I'm giving the other one, the Klasky Supo-ish, Bart, she gets fake Lisa 1.
The one with the tank top and skirt.
Yes. Yeah, the one that looks kind of like if they were redesigning, when they were pitching The Simpsons as a show, they were like, we have to redesign this so the clothes make a little more sense.
A bit more modern.
Yes, yeah.
Yep, that is also who I had. I also had BZ, who was one of those recurring characters who Janine has wanted to use in the past. But I
Ooh.
mean, who do you have?
I literally did the same thing, guys.
Hell yeah, we're
It
all
just it
geniuses.
makes sense. It just makes sense.
All right, we then have Konbu, who his head is shaved. He has those blush marks. He's very tall and kind of round. I had Glasses Fake Bart, and then I also had Ezekiel, one of the kids who was excused from learning about sexual reproduction.
Ugh, great gag.
Janine, how about you?
Kearney Jr.
Oh, that's really good. He is like Kearney Jr.
Joe, how about you?
Well, now I really like Kearney Jr. I had the kid when the thing is going into lockdown, when the fun place is going into lockdown, there's like a kid that like rolls out, and that was the kid that I had, the rolling out kid. But I really like Kearney Jr. Oh man, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm going to use Kearney Jr. here. We will never regret this choice, Janine.
Hell yeah.
All right, we then have Uzu. Who did you have for Uzu, Joe?
I had the Glasses Lisa because it was another one of the more established kids of the daycare scene. The I think that's the second batch of Barts and Lisas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my pick.
Janine?
Let's see. I had Tornado Frog.
That was the point where you were starting to get high, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I just think about these kids and I'm like, they really don't matter that much. And if I could be able to just, like, match a freak to something so normal, that would be great. And, like, I guess did kind of get that with Konbu and Kearney Jr., because that is a child of a child.
Yes, yeah.
In such a weird way.
He's like a little clone, basically.
Yeah.
So I also had Glasses Fake Lisa, and then I had Taffy as a throwback. I'm going to go with Glasses Fake Lisa.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Then we have Allie and Allie's sister. There's two of them. I had Playset Lisa and then Great Daughter as the counterpart to Great Son. Janine, what weird one did you have for Allie?
Eliza Cottonbottom. Common Bottom.
That is a fascinating pick.
The secretary in the Love Actually parody.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The one that does... That sounds like the wrong kind of British. I don't know. That's probably like the worst way to say it, but... Hey,
no, yeah.
I'm gonna say it.
Andy, if that's offensive to say, add a sound effect here.
Yeah, she has an urchin voice rather than like a BBC News voice.
Well, no, but if she's supposed to be low class, and that's what makes the
Perfect. It's just those are the two types: urchin voice and BBC News voice.
Oi, governor! Have you ever seen more governor? Joe, who do you have?
There's a little girl in a test before trying who has pigtails, who passes out taking the test and gets like swept up into that pile of kids. And I don't know if she has a name. I don't know if she's ever appeared before, but that was my pick, is the little girl with pigtails.
I am pretty sure I know who you are talking about. I am going to...
And we definitely just used her last episode.
I'm pretty sure we have not used Becky Shorter. The question is there actually the image that we need for this? The like red-haired pigtails girl?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that is not the... I think that might be Becky Shorter variant. That is Sophie Jensen.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And we have used Sophie Jensen in episode 13.
All right.
Wow, episode 13 was busy.
Uh-huh. That was the start of Drum Kingdom. Okay. So Sophie Jensen cannot be used. Eliza Cottonbottom is insane?
That is a pick you won't regret, as you put earlier.
Are you throwing your vote behind Eliza Cottonbottom?
Yeah, I'll pick Eliza Cottonbottom.
All right. Eliza Cottonbottom, the woman who speaks like a British urchin. And then last we have Pio, who has a weird mohawk thing. I had Emissaries to Byzantium Boy from the box and Ishmael the boy who also, along with Ezekiel, was not allowed to learn about sexual reproduction. Janine, what weird pick do you have?
The zombie kid.
Oh, that's really good.
And Joe, who do you have?
For this one, I had Melvis Spuckler, the small Spuckler brother who goes up to tell Bart that he has basically to tell him he's been dumped by Mary Spuckler, just because they both have that sort of yard kid energy.
Ah, yes. And I was taking a moment to remember where the zombie kid was. And oh, yeah, at the end of the Prepper episode, the asteroid full of zombies.
The asteroid full of zombies that's hurtling towards the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Which, weird gag, but pretty good gag, I thought.
Mm-hmm. We have, I feel like, between Ishmael, Zombie Kid, and Melvis Spuckler, 3 solid options.
We have this is a great set.
I'm more inclined to go towards Melvis just because, Janine, we've seen zombies pop up on the show before.
Oh my god. We have to save a child zombie.
For when you get a real zombie. Zombie boy.
I hate when he does this because he's always like, it always does happen. And like, I'll forget about it because there's just so much of One Piece.
Yeah, there's a Simpsons character that's like, oh yeah, this is Frogman, and you're like, well, we're not gonna need Frogman, and Luke's like, there's a whole 700 episodes of Frogman.
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
that's literally how it goes.
I gotta catch up on One Piece, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great ways that you can do it: the live action, or a subscription on Viz to read the manga, or platform of your choice.
I was gonna say, I feel like maybe reading it on the train seems like a cool project to do because I take the train every day, so may as well.
Joe Stando takes the morning train, so he raised One Piece on his way.
Yep, perfect. All right, Melvis Spuckler, it is, right?
Yeah. All right, so our dragon is Ape Hydra Flanders. Our Kinemon is Troy McClure. Monet and the Master are both tabled. Our Hieratoros is Barry the Satellite TV guy. Our Kirintoros is Giraffopus. Our Doran is Great Sun. Our Sind is Fake Bart 1. Our Mocha is Fake Lisa 1. Our Konbu is Kearney Jr. Our Uzu is Glasses Fake Lisa. Our Ali is Eliza Common Bottom. And our Bio is Melvis Spuckler.
Woo! Oh, so I looked up real quick what the Master's like human form looks like, and immediately I was just like, they're gonna make that like I'm very excited to see this in the live action because it's one of those designs that you feel like they're really gonna get their teeth into, like Buggy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, they're gonna make this look pretty cool. It's crazy, but it's gonna look cool with their spin on it. I feel like
he's going to be full freak hours, and I am going to stand firmly by it is Krusty the Clown.
Yeah. And then also like it's cool too because it's going to be some actor you've like who was on like a British like soap for like 4 seasons and you haven't really heard of him outside of that, and he's just going to be perfect for it. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, oh wow, like the Nico Robin, the clips that I've gotten of Nico Robin for the new season, I'm like, oh that's good. You know what I mean? You nailed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Janine, there's a whole episode where she's just walking around in a leather catsuit.
She's awesome.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a great thing to have for Janine as
a person who's very turned on by middle-aged women.
I thought that you were gonna get through this episode without hitting that button. We got so close.
I'm gonna kill you.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Joe, where can you be found online?
I can be found online on both, Twitter and Blue Sky at Depeche Joe. That's DEPECHEJOE, like Depeche Mode, but with Joe. And I'm on Instagram at Joe Stando. And yeah, if you want to follow, I post Mountain Dew reviews every Friday, usually around 10:30 a.m. And yeah, that's me.
Oh, happy belated This Man Is Outside the House Day.
Oh yes, thank you. I forgot to reply to that. So many years ago, I was taking a nap at my parents' house and I woke up and I saw a guy who just had the greatest character design you've ever seen. He was a very stocky, round-headed guy, bald, shaved head, big bushy mustache, and he was sort of admiring the house. And I was like, half asleep. So I was like, what the? And I took a picture, posted it online, and said, this man is outside. And it was a big hit. And then it turned out the man was a contractor who my dad had hired to work on renovations for the house. So this is a brief period where I was living at home after moving back from Kalamazoo, but not to New York yet. And so I would constantly just take pictures of this man as he came by and update everyone on what this man was doing. This man's name is Donald. That's some insider info. And I guess my dad, unfortunately, did not get him back or his boss, Mike, for the most recent renovation they did on the house. And the reason was, I guess, because it was kind of too small of a job to justify the top-notch services of this man. So, but hopefully we will someday see this man again, because I think my dad wants to do some more work on the house.
I was trying to pull up the One Piece character who looks
like this man.
Uh-huh.
He just has like I have to see if I can somehow track down the photo, even though I think it was deleted with my old Twitter account. But he just has a great look. You know what I mean? He was also always wearing like hoodies and workwear. Sometimes he'd wear like a beanie, and it's a great guy, you know?
Yeah. I just have it as a calendar reminder, and Abby's like, why? And I'm like,
well, thank you for the reminder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the One Piece wiki is running slow, so
too many characters. It's got too many guys on there.
Luckily, if you believe in voting, you can currently vote in the One Piece character election.
Ooh.
Joe, I am sending you an image of this guy in Discord right now. Mentally, this is what he looks like to me.
Exactly it. He's maybe a little less malevolent looking, but he is a little. He does have a stern look to him, which is sort of the fun. Like when he's surveying that house in that photo, he's definitely seeing things that like he wants to work on.
Yeah, I sent a picture of Top Man Workury.
It's funny, you know, his first name is Donald, but that's his last name, so you nailed it.
Top Man -Workury.
Yes. But yeah, this has been great. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Janine, where can you be found online?
You can find me on Blue Sky, JanineJuliet.biscuit.social, and also Instagram. When I rarely post there, Janine is dope. I also do another podcast, Wrestle Girlies, with Flighty Buttlass. And I think I want to do a subtweet episode where I say stuff, but I don't really say stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Luke, where can the people find you?
You can find me most places as at Koltreg. That's KOLTREG. I'm on Blue Sky, itch.io. My Patreon, which supports this show, is under my actual name, Lukeher, LUKEHERR. Where for as little as $1 a month, you get episodes as soon as they are ready to get posted, which is usually a few hours early on Sunday night, and also other stuff. I'm adding comics that I've written onto there, and hopefully some script stuff. Also, in 2 days, because we got cursed by the Etsy witch, we're going to be having a bonus episode, hopefully, that the Spum Boys have sent in. I have not heard of it at this point, but it should be great. Our cover art for this week was by Mike Patten. You can find most places as Patten, Patten, pending PENDING, online, and you should reach out to them about commissions. DohMance Dawn posts semi-weekly. That means every other week. We'll be back in 2 more weeks with either the next part of this arc, or we might have another movie special. I am working out some details currently. If we're doing another movie special, it'll be with a guest who you're all very excited for, and if not, you'll be able to join the great master character suggestion thread on our Blue Sky or in our Discord. Thank you all for listening, and Joe, thank you for joining us, and everyone out there, smooth sailing. Peace.